Respect is earned. Respect cannot be demanded for. If you are a bure fellow, useless, buffoon, you will not get in respect from anybody. Even your dogs will not respect you. Leave alone your children.
Yeah.
Leave alone Gen Z. Hata umbwa wako hawatakupatia heshima. Because the apology we got from His Excellency the President was conditional. He says, if you think. I mean, that is not how to apologize. Then keep your apology. And I agree with my friend Justin Muturi. Take your apology to Sugoi. This is something that the president must be reminded from time to time, especially by you people in the media. He must be reminded he has blood on his hands. Under his watch, about 65 children were murdered. 65 more were maimed. Others have not been found. Yet he tells international guests that have been found and actually taken back for families. What a shame. What a shame to have such a president. Do you know I'm happy?
You're happy?
I'm so happy.
For what Natembea went through?
Yes. They made him stronger. They made him more popular. They made him into a king. Not just a king of Trans Nzoia, but an emerging king, one of the emerging kings from Western Kenya. And for once, I want Papa Twali to call out this man. This is workers' money. The act does not allow William Ruto to put workers' money on a road. Telling you, he's the first president we're going to jail. That is number one. Number two, round 2 of ICC is beaconing. I can tell you for free, Jed, what gives him the idea that he can do as he wishes? This is not his personal house. This is not Sogoi. I think the president needs to stop being simplistic.
Is there a vacuum post Raila?
Play one clip where Ruto has spoken truthfully.
Great to see you. Hello there and welcome to Philip Kisia Unscripted this particular Friday as Kenya waits to celebrate Madaraka Day, a reminder of our hard-earned self-rule. I'm going to speak with Kisia about the events that are happening in the country, including the president's apology to the Gen Z, saying that if the government wronged us, then government is sorry. We're going to talk about that and also talk about political and moral issues in this country. Are we living in a country where disrespect, or should I say respect, has been thrown out the window? That is my conversation today with Philip Kisia. He's a leadership and governance expert, former Nairobi town clerk. He has been CEO at KICC. He's actually part of the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition, the loyal opposition, as the executive director. Great to see you. How are you doing today?
Well, Jed, as good as I can be.
As good as you can be.
Yes.
Let's get into your highlights, how the week has been for you and your reflections before we talk about the apology from the president and whether this country is in moral decay.
Jed, just before I dive into the program today, into my highlights and reflection, there's something that happened, I think it's a day or two, which really annoyed me. And I didn't want to start the program on this note. But you know, some of these people in Kenya Kwanza really annoy Kenyans. And we are left with no option but to respond to some of their statements, which is extremely unfortunate. My friend, Moses Masika Wetangula, the Speaker of the 13th Parliament, just the other day, he was issuing a riot act to another arm of government, the judiciary. Now, I was wondering if Moses Masika Wetangula has decided that Parliament is an appendage of the executive, he should not attempt to interfere with the work of the judiciary. Just like he does not want the work of Parliament to be interfered with, he has no business interfering with any other arm of government. You see, the judiciary is independent of executive. It is independent of a Parliament. So the judiciary should not be intimidated. They should do their work. And we must all abide by the rule of law. And if court orders are issued by the court, then we have no reason to disobey court orders. Because if they do that, they're actually encouraging anarchy. You see, I mean, Wetangula forgets that Kenyans have lost faith in this 13th parliament. It's a parliament that does not believe in public participation, yet it is captured in the constitution. It is a parliament that has passed illegal bills, and you've seen that once people have rushed to court, they have actually been thrown out after even being ascended to by the president. You have seen this is the parliament that has actually approved the sale of public assets illegally. This is a parliament that has a fake voting process. You know, it's a sham, the way they vet state officers. This is a parliament that disobeys court orders. This is a parliament that approved Chief Shah, a fake thing. This is a parliament that approved this Adani scandal. It's a parliament of scandal. So please, Moses, Masika, Wetangula, spare us. Because if you don't spare us, we shall not spare you. But even before saying that, again, in fact, Najed,
Yes.
it is the same parliament that has foreseen, oversaw the abduction of our children. They have said nothing. It is the same parliament that this has allowed this government to commit heinous acts. It is the parliament that has said nothing when our little children, the Gen Zs, have been killed, murdered through extrajudicial means. It is a rogue parliament. So please, Moses, Masika, Wetangula, spare us. If you don't spare us, we shall not spare you. Okay? But even before saying that, I should have actually acknowledged, sent condolences to the family of Professor Ngugi wa Thiong'o. And, a great man. A great man, a man who literary work has been appreciated all over the world. Books like, The River Between, Weep No Child, The Grain of Wheat, and so on and so forth. Okay? He was appreciated, internationally, more than he was appreciated back home. So condolences to that family. But what really disturbed me, Jed, is the fact that I saw some people shedding crocodile tears. This man has suffered under successive regimes. There is no regime that has apologized, for really humiliating Ngugi wa Thiong'o until he had to run away from this country. He has been here. He has not been honored. If you look at the list of people who have been honored, state honors, if you look at the list, some of those fellows were not in a civilized society. Even the list I think is head of state commendation, they will not be getting. But you know what? In Kenya, you can get anything. I don't know that they buy those honors. You find a buffoon holding EGH, Elder of the Golden. How can you be Elder of the Golden Heart when you're a buffoon with buffoonery tendencies? How can that happen? It can only happen in Kenya. So let me say this, Jed, that Moses must remember, because he's saying that Parliament is some supreme arm of government. They are actually suggesting that, what they say must pass. I want to remind him that if you look at the preamble of our constitution, Jed, it's beautiful.
You have it here.
It says, yes, it says, we the people. It does not say Parliament. It says, we the people of Kenya. We the people of Kenya commit, respect, are proud. We the people of Kenya. Then he forgets that the powers he's exercising are under Article 1. All the sovereign powers, it does not say some, belong to the people of Kenya. They can be exercised directly or indirectly. So Moses, please spare us. Because if you don't, we shall not spare you.
Talk to me about your highlights for the week, what you've been reflecting on before we get into our conversation.
Well, Jed, the prayer breakfast. I'm not saying I'm really a prayerful person, but I can tell you that I was brought up well, Jed. And therefore, I not want to underscore the importance of a prayer breakfast. But in Kenya, it's a sham. It's a waste of public resources in terms of money, in terms of time. It's just a pure waste of resources, okay? Because even those characters who attend, 90% of them should not even be anywhere near prayer breakfast. But you know, we're in Kenya. You are in a place where people of dishonor are honored. Therefore, when I saw that breakfast and I saw the guest who, made the sermon, some Ricky Bolden, I think it was a man who was very bold. I suspect that he had not been given the brief.
Yeah.
Because he went straight out. Look for that video, man.
You're Gen G. How do you build the bridge? You know, I have children. I have 5 children, 4 boys and 1 girl. What's fortunate is my 1 girl can beat up all of her brothers, but I have 5 children. And I remember last year coming to the prayer breakfast. And when my brother Earl and I got back home, we saw the Gen Z's frustration. And Earl asked, Rick, what do you think the problem is? What Gen Z is dying, and I'm talking because I have Gen Zs. They're dying to be loved. They're dying for a seat at the table. They're dying to be respected. When we're talking about relationships and we're talking about really rebuilding relationships, wouldn't it be beautiful if leaders would stand up and say to our Gen Zs, we had you arrested. And we know that had to be traumatizing. And we're sorry.
He's calling out government, calling for accountability, especially for the young people that were killed. Just asking, what if we just asked for forgiveness?
Jed, this bold man was bold. But as I said earlier, probably he had not been given the brief of what to say. So he spoke from his heart. You know, Jed, the man says he has Gen Zs, 5 of them. But the way he treats them is not the way we treat our Gen Z here. Because he was following events in Kenya. He reminded Kenyans, in the presence of our president, that Gen Zs are now adults. They are here to stay. They are going nowhere.
Yeah.
And they must be invited on the table to discuss issues affecting them, to discuss issues affecting their country.
Yeah.
There is no way you can ignore these people. There's no way you can ignore them. And if you ignore them at your own peril. He gave them sound advice, Jed. I hope the president took it, but I saw him fidgeting. I saw him very uncomfortable. And the fellows around him, they were also uncomfortable, including my speaker, very uncomfortable, fidgeting.
Yeah.
You see, he told them, listen, the first thing you must do, because you made a mistake. There are mistakes you committed. The first thing you must do is to admit that you made a mistake. Even before you apologize. So you admit, and then you spell out the mistakes you committed. Brutality, heinous crimes, acts, murder, extrajudicial killings, brutality, and all those things, even switching off the internet. Those are things that you committed. You must have read them and said, I want you to forgive me for having committed these following mistakes. That's number 1. Then number 2 is now you, after accepting that there are mistakes you committed, then the other thing is that you apologize. Not with the conditions. Because the apology we got from His Excellency the President was conditional. He says, if you think. I mean, that is not how to apologize. Then keep your apology. And I agree with my friend Justin Muturi. Take your apology to Sugoi. We don't need it. If it's going to be attached to conditions. So this man called Bolden, God bless him, because he gave them beautiful lessons. He said, listen, it is time for you to start rebuilding trust among us, the youth, among us, the people, among us, the Gen Z. But what response did we get from my good friend Elachi? Elachi made a very good prayer, because at least she admitted that they are corrupt, they are materialistic, yeah? The love for cash is beyond any imagination. Though that was a beautiful prayer, because she actually mirrored and saw what the MPs look like. She mirrored, and she mirrored very properly. The only mistake she made, because I listened to that clip several times, is by trying to pass the buck, by saying that the social media is the cause of these problems. The social media cannot be a cause of the problem. We are now in the global world. It cannot be a problem. The problem is actually us, adults. Monkey see, monkey do. It is our children just mirror and do what we are doing. In fact, they have been kind. They are not thieves. They don't steal public resources, because that's what these people do. So you can't say social media is the one corrupting our young people. Then, of course, he made reference to the Bible, saying that the Bible says we must discipline our children. How can you discipline your child when you are indisciplined? These members of parliament, 90% of them are indisciplined. So how can you discipline somebody when you are indisciplined? So I thought that that was a waste of our public resources, a waste of our time, a waste of everything. And that apology, which was conditional, Jed, from His Excellency the President, Samoei Arap Ruto, is rejected in total. Take it to Sugoi. The second highlight, Jed.
We'll get back. We'll circle back to that. But the second highlight.
Second highlight, Jed.
Okay.
Allow me to roll. People assembled in Siekuru. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it because I had a family issue that I was attending to yesterday. Siekuru. The journey to liberate this country has started, Jed. And I hope the Gen Z will join the movement, the WANTAM movement. The journey to remove, through constitutional means, one William Samoei Ruto and to make him a one-term president started in earnest. What happened in Sekuru? But before I dive in, just look for that video, short one. Rigathi made a short speech. Just look for that video.
Na mimi nataka ni confirm siku huyu Kalonzo atarudi hapa Sekuru, atarudi hapa na heshima ambaye inastahili kiongozi. Na nimemwambia mchana, kama huyu Kalonzo atapata shida, labda ajiletee mwenyewe. Sisi tutamheshimu na tutakaa na yeye vile watu wanatakana wakae na rafiki na kiongozi. Sisi mambo ya kumundanganya na kujifichania hatutaki. Ile tu tutaketi tusikizane. Ni nani atabeba bendera, nani atamsaidia, nani atakuwa. Na kwa hiyo timu yote tutakaa sawa sawa. Tumekubaliana?
The journey to liberate this country started yesterday. Total liberation. When the entire country was in Siekuru, William and my party leader were in a small place in Nyanza. Okay? The whole country is on one side. Two gentlemen on one side. What does that tell you? That they are most likely going home together. And I'm hoping that my party leader can see that, because he's an intelligent man. Because if he doesn't make the right decision now, he'll be a collateral damage. And I do not want him to be collateral damage. Okay? He will gain nothing by supporting this man. His time is over. Jed, he has less than 24 months to go home. So what miracle can he do in 24 months that he has not done in 36 months? He's homebound. He's actually bound, Sugoi bound. The other thing that was annoying, Jed, that I took a note of in this video is, of course, there's a team that has been born a team that is forming, a team that is gelling, a team that has agreed. It is not about Philip Kisia, it's about Kenya, and you're going to put Kenya first. That is what was discussed in Siekuru. They also, came up with very many things in terms of messaging. And then, of course, unity of purpose. You could see it's not about individuals. It's about a group. It's about Kenya. But if you look at the messaging that came out, Siekuru, Jed, look at the message from SKM, His Excellency Musyoka. He talked about what? Protecting the vote. And they said how they're going to protect the vote. It will not be business as usual. Then came Rigathi. Rigathi talked about unity of purpose. We are a team. We are going to deal with this matter. We are coming to liberate. It is not about Rigathi. We are discussing as a team on how to liberate this country and hand it over to the next generation. Then came my brother Eugene. Eugene flatly refused this conditional apology. He reminded the president that he has blood on his hands. This is something that the president must be reminded from time to time, especially by you people in the media. He must be reminded he has blood on his hands. Under his watch, about 65 children were murdered, 65 more were maimed, others have not been found, yet he tells international guests that have been found and actually taken back for families. What a shame. What a shame to have such a president. Then came my friend Justin Muturi. Muturi again reminded him of abductions. And they said, you are the chief abductor. And we shall remind you, we shall keep on reminding you, and we shall not get tired of reminding you that you are the chief abductor. Yeah. And then, of course, he brought in the issue of the public seal. When you see, Jed, I have served in public office. In fact, my office had a seal. That seal had two keys. One was kept by the mayor, and one was in my office. Anytime I wanted to seal a document, two of us had to be present, and all the officers concerned, the finance, the legal, to witness. And it will be recorded in the books. On this date, we opened the seal, it sealed the following documents. But you have a government that wants to carry a public seal, as if they're carrying a vest in a bag. They can move around with it. I mean, what a shame. Why would you insist on moving around with a public seal? You're in Eldoret, you carry it. You go to a city, you're carrying a public seal. A public seal remains in one place. Okay? You don't keep on moving it around. And according to the Constitution, Jed, it is supposed to be domiciled where? In the office of the Attorney General. So shame on these people. They want to sell our assets. That's why they're hell-bent on having this seal within their proximity, so that any time wanafinya document. Tomorrow, if you guys don't watch out, watafinya Kenya.
What was it, Kenya?
Yote.
What are your reflections for the week before we talk about what we are seeing in the country with regards to morals?
Now, Jed, I am happy that the government of William Ruto, through the state agencies, decided to punish my brother Natembea. I'm so happy. Do you know I'm happy?
You're happy?
I'm so happy.
For what Natembea went through?
Yes. They made him stronger. They made him more popular. They made him into a king. Not just a king of Trans Nzoia, but an emerging king, one of the emerging kings from Western Kenya. You saw how he was received right from Vihiga, Kakamega, Bungoma, and then right to Trans Nzoia. So look for that two videos, the short videos that I shared with you. Those are two short videos. Play them out.
Natoka mko matatizo. Haiwezi kuwa kwamba jamii ambayo watu wamesoma hata wakienda kwa serikali hakuna kazi. Wakiajiri polisi, wengine wanabebwa na malori, nyinyi mnabebwa na bodaboda. Hii maneno kubali kweli? Wameua Nzoia, wameua Mumias na hawataki tuongee. Hata wanataka tunyamaze tu. Katiba ya Kenya inakubali watu kuongea, na mimi sitaogopa kwa sababu nalindwa na katiba.
Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya there. You're saying he's now stronger. You're saying that you are happy actually.
Yes. Because I made him somebody. He was somebody, but they made him greater. They have made him a greater person. Okay? And you can see how people are responding. Saying, we were down. We had two characters there representing us. One, they call him, I don't know, Bure. The other, Bure Kabisa. I don't Kenyans, man. Kenyans are merciless. But they have now created somebody and made him stronger and better, more focused. They have removed him from Trans Nzoia and now expanded his space, the boundary. He's gone beyond Trans Nzoia. He's now being received well in Kakamega, Vihiga, and Bungoma.
Yes.
The home backyard of Moses Masika Wetangula. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying I'm happy, Jed, that happened. You see, Jed, when you think you're punishing somebody, and even I think it is in the Bible, a teaching in religion, which says that actually in the Bible, when you lock this door, another door opens. So they tried locking one. They tried locking one. Several doors opened. Kakamega opened. Bungoma opened. Vihiga opened. By just closing one door, several doors opened. So that's why I'm saying, Jed, that I'm happy. If you look at the speeches that Governor Natembeya made, he was talking about issues affecting the Luhya community. He talked about Mumias Nzoia, which they have been sold for a song, and they want the Luhya community to keep quiet. Shame on you. We are not going to keep quiet. Then he talked about unemployment, underemployment, Then, he talked about poverty levels in our place. Then he reminded the Luhya community, you are number 2 in population. In fact, Jed, we are number 1. Because 30% of our brothers in Kikuyu are our sons and daughters. I am telling you, Jed, I'm telling you.
You're saying I might be Luhya.
You are Luhya. No wonder you're smart. Yeah. Only Luhyas can be this smart.
So it comes to the numbers.
So we are number 1. But anyway, for now we can accept you are number 2 in the books.
Yeah.
But we are number 1.
Yeah.
Okay? So you see, then look at the government response to the popularity that the loyal opposition is gaining. They respond by inviting people like the likes of Farouk to go and give some small little money, border money, I don't know where, And I saw a poster, and I sent it to my senator, Senator Osot Vihiga. I asked Osot, what are you doing with this poster? That you are going to distribute, I don't know, 200 shillings, calling it empowerment. What are you empowering? You empower people by doing the right thing, by making sure that the economy is thriving. Okay? Yeah. You don't need to empower people by giving them 200 shillings. That does not amount to empowerment. So those people who are coming to Vihiga, I'm told, I think it is this weekend, Vihiga, they are coming to give us border. I'm asking my border people in Vihiga, Vandavanje, Vihiga, when they come, attendance fee is 5,000. 5,000. Because they're coming with resources that are not theirs. It is your money. Demand for 5,000 Kenya shillings. Let me jump on to the last one, Jed. And this one is serious, Jed.
Yes.
You saw the TIFA report survey. It says 75% of Kenyans are completely dissatisfied. Only less than 25% seem to appreciate this government. Less than 25%. But 75% are what? Dissatisfied. Jed, what score is that one? You went to school. What would you, on a scale of 10, what would you give it? Is failure, complete failure. It is total failure. Is F for fools. F. So then when you read that report, Jed, then you come to appreciate why people are so mad with this government. Number one on the list, about 48% cost of living. Number two, they are saying the leadership is completely failed. They are saying they have no faith in William Ruto and his government. Completely failed. They are saying it's failed. The word is failed. Failed leadership. Then they, of course, come to the thing that is burning the youth, the Gen Z, the millennials, employment and unemployment. The issue of human rights is top on the list, and then followed by corruption. These are the things that Jed will keep on talking about. These are the things that Kenyans are now talking about and have been talking about. These are the things that have now been captured scientifically in a survey done by TIFA. So they cannot run away from it. Finally, Jed, and you people need to be careful as Kenyans.
Yes.
While your people, we have been kept busy. We have been kept so busy, running up and down. The state is selling our assets. Bombers of Kenya. At you have brought some investors, I don't know from which country. I don't know some investor. Then you are budgeting 4.5 billion for the same bombers of Kenya. Why would you give somebody an asset like bombers of Kenya? Then on top of that, you give them money, public money. It's a public asset. Then you give them public money. Does Ruto want to tell me there are no Kenyans with the capacity to do what that fellow has come to do? The fellow is just coming, sitting in this country of ours. He handed over an asset worth billions of shillings. On top of that, give another 4.5 billion to renovate. That is theft. It is total theft, and we must resist. We must completely resist. I hope KICC is not the same. You saw NSSF. They say they have brought investors. Now they're asking NSSF to invest 25 billion shillings on some road, going against the NSSF Act. Kenyans must resist. And for once, I want Papa Twali to call out this man. This is workers' money. The Act does not allow William Ruto to put workers' money on a road. You say you bring investors, PPP, some PPP thing.
Yes.
Then you are getting, again, money from workers, okay, to put on some road. We are not going to, I am telling you, Jed, this man is going home. August 2027. And I'm telling you, he's the first president we're going to jail. That is number one. Number two, round 2 of ICC is beaconing. I can tell you for free, Jed.
Round 2 of ICC
is beaconing.
Not being jailed here in Kenya.
First of all, we'll deal with him here before we dispatch him to ICC.
Well, that is Philip Kisia Unscripted, part 1. Let's get into a conversation. An unprecedented apology by President William Ruto has brought us to this conversation after the national prayer breakfast that happened in Safari Park this week. We are going to celebrate Madaraka Day, celebrate our self-rule. But the question is the country ready for a leadership reset, one reconciliatory government? This comes after the president's apology, of course. Deputy President Kithure Kindiki speaks of lack of disrespect, not just from Gen Zs, but also from political leaders, saying Gachagua is lecturing everyone who does he think he is. Beatrice Elachi, MP, actually says that this is a helpless generation. I want to understand a few things from Philip Kisia with regards to this, but Kisia, you listen to the president. Are we heading to a place of reconciliation if this apology came from his heart? And are we looking at a place where leadership is going to reset so that as we celebrate self-rule, we can actually celebrate governance and governance that cares for the citizen?
You see, Jed, we are in a very bad space. And we have a leadership that is mediocre, a leadership that should never have been given even 1 minute to provide leadership. But here we are. I hope Kenyans have learned their lessons. But you mentioned Madaraka Day. That's the day we got self-rule, our sovereignty. But where is it? People are trying to run away with it. Jed, our sovereignty as a country is threatened from all directions. And people want to take it away. They forget that it was fought for. It was not given. We fought for self-rule from the colonialists. We fought for the new constitution, or the 2010 constitution. We were not just given. It didn't just come. People lost lives. People were killed. So if somebody is sitting in a corner expecting that we shall not hit back, we shall fight back. Times are changing. The president, the deputy president, are supposed to be symbols of national unity. Okay? But instead of promoting unity, they're promoting disunity. From their utterances, from their action, this country is at the verge of collapse. We've lost the moral fabric. Then we have two people there having this feel-good air, and people are suffering. They forget that people are so restless. You've seen the report that was released by TIFA, explains it all, that people are in pain. And we have a leadership that does not seem to care. We have a leadership that is not even bothered. They are just happy they're in State House. They are just happy they're occupying big offices. They forget that they are there to provide servant leadership. But I'm telling you, Jed, sooner or later, things are going to change. Change is imminent. I am telling you, change is coming. Whether these two people, Kindiki talking the way he's talking, I thought this man came from a humble background, just a teacher with the chalk, and I respect teachers. Look at him. My friend William, poor background, look at the way he's behaving. Oh, full of opulence, just wasting public funds. So Jed, if you're not feeling pain, then you're as heartless as them, because all Kenyans are feeling pain.
So you listen to these reconciliatory messages that they brought during the National Prayer Breakfast, and you wonder, what direction should we take in restoring this trust between government and the youthful population? You know,
Jed, you see, first of all, a public apology is supposed to be symbolic, and it's supposed to be impactful, because you're making it public, you're admitting publicly that there's something that went amiss, and you would want to, you have recognized the mistakes, and you want to apologize. You have you have admitted that you wronged people, and you can spell out the issues, that with the areas that you went wrong, and you want to correct. Okay, so it has a lot of impact when it is done publicly. But the apology from the president was a by the way. I think it was forced out of his mouth because the preacher Bolden caught him off guard. Okay, and you know, I don't know what Kenyans were expecting from William Ruto, because that is him. He doesn't know how to apologize. You saw Museveni's apology.
Yes,
it came from his heart. Maybe because of his age. Maybe he sees that now, from where he's come from and where he's going, the distance is very short.
What do you usually say?
The distance is very short. So he's saying, before it happens,
yes,
let me apologize to the people. And you can see really the old man, M7, it came from his heart. This one, it came from his mouth. He was caught off guard.
Talk to me about Beatrice Elachi, Member of Parliament, and I want to quote what she said. She said, the Kenyan youth are helpless, caught in cycles of gambling, pornography, moral confusion, and went ahead to warn about social media running the country. That's what she said. To what extent do you believe this is actually the state of the country, especially when it comes to youth?
You know, I think these are people, and Beatrice is my friend. Her statement was unfortunate, because social media is not running the country. Social media is just a medium of communication. We as a country must deal with ethics. We must deal with morality. And it starts from the family level. In fact, it is captured in our preamble, constitution, that we must start building the foundation from family level. Then you come to the society or the community, and then you come to the nation. Now, when you see children responding the way they're responding through a medium, social media is just a medium of communication. So when you see our children responding the way they're responding, it is because they are just mirroring the society. It's a reflection of ourselves. Okay? So stop blaming the youth. Let us engage the youth. Let's sit down with the youth. Because as Bolden said, these youth are smart. These youth are intelligent. These youth have gone to school. They are sharp. They can engage you. Okay? So other than passing blame and saying, like Kindiki said, even Kindiki was saying that they must be respected. Who the hell are you to be respected? If you don't deserve respect, you will not be respected. Respect is earned. Respect cannot be demanded for. If you are a bure fellow, useless, buffoon, you will not get in respect from anybody. Even your dogs will not respect you. Leave alone your children. Leave alone Gen Z. Hata umbwa wako hawatakupatia heshima. You must first of all respect yourself, respect other people. Only then shall things work. But I think what we have is leadership deficit. Okay? That we have a leadership that is so unethical. We have a leadership that is a totally bad example. They have no capacity to engage. They only want to use threats. You must respect us. We'll kill you. We'll adapt you. We'll put you in jail. We'll murder you. That's the response they're getting. But how many of those can you murder, Jed? They murdered 62 or 65.
Yes.
Some are still missing. How many more can they murder? Jed, how many more? You've seen it happening. You saw it happening in Bangladesh. You have seen it happening in many places. And even the army you think sometimes is with you, they end up saying, no, we are on this other side. So you cannot even rely on, the police service or police force or the military to continue protecting and promoting your bad behavior. Your bad behavior at a certain point will come to a closure.
But is there a line? Even when you look at politics, this is what Kithure Kindiki was actually speaking about, I think on Sunday, calling out former DP Rigathi Gachagua, saying, tuheshimiane, you are lecturing everyone, you are threatening musicians. Is there a line when it comes to politics?
No, even him is lecturing everybody. Just, in fact, over breakfast, let's forget about my friend Rigathi.
Yes.
Over breakfast, he is demanding for respect. Who does he think he is? He's just an appointee. Is that not lecturing? Is that not showing disrespect by demanding for respect when you don't deserve respect? So forget about Rigathi. And Rigathi is allowed to speak like any other Kenyan. And what has Rigathi said that is not correct? Rigathi told us about bombers being sold. It is happening. Rigathi told us that State House is a sin of crime. It is a sin of crime. Adani business is being done there. All the corruption is emanating from State House. So what you see, be specific and tell us this one is wrong. Don't generalize statements. Don't issue generalized statements. You are lecturing us. I don't care whether he's lecturing us or not. So long as he's speaking to the truth, let him speak.
Finally, how do we get out of this? Everyone is talking about moral decay. Everyone is talking about disrespect. But the other side, the side of government is, the opponents are talking about, look, you're running away from responsibility. We are calling you out and you're talking about moral decay and you're talking about disrespect. As we celebrate self-rule, how do we get out of this so that we can have a complete reset of youth and government can sit down and actually show solutions for this country?
Jed, you are saying youth and government. This government is not ready to sit down with anybody. They listen to themselves. They can only sit down with themselves. So this is a government, first of all, to be sent home. And then you get a government that is caring and ready to listen. But there are two things, Jed, that I want to say. The first one is simple. That this government can never do. Follow the rule of law and the Constitution. Simple.
That's a simple one.
Just follow the rule of law and the Constitution. If somebody has committed a crime, what does the law say? This is what the law says. Take action in accordance with the Constitution. Okay? If somebody has, murdered, what does the law say? This is what it says. But you find that even, I'm hoping that you have confirmed that some of the people, President has powers of mercy, okay? We would want to know whether he misused those powers to release people who are criminals back into society. Because when you commit a criminal offense, it's not like stealing chicken, okay? A small little thing or peeing by the roadside, and then you're put in for 2 months because you don't have money to pay a fine. When you commit criminal offense, you've stolen public funds, you murdered people, you should be in jail. But if the president uses that one, so that some people can benefit, I think that is what needs to be checked. So I'm simply saying, Jed, the rule of law and the Constitution, follow to the latter. And you have a beautiful Constitution. But this government will avoid that Constitution at whatever cost. Number two, there could be more. Institutional accountability. You've seen we have institutions funded by the public that have refused to take accountability. I have in mind the police service. Look at what has happened in the last 3 years. People are being abducted. Children are being murdered. People are being killed through extrajudicial means. Investigations are not even completed. I'm shocked that Koimburi's investigation seemed to have been done in a supersonic speed.
Yes.
Which one is more important? Koimburi, who is still breathing and earning a salary, and as Amin said, DCI, he said he's enjoying his 5-course meals in Karen Hospital. What about the children who died and their families? How come he has not given us a report? A year later, we shall be celebrating the first anniversary on 25th.
Yes.
And that is going to be big, my friend. That we shall rub it in their noses. We shall rub it in whatever space we find. We shall rub it in. We are not forgetting. We are not about to forget that children were murdered and that they have blood on their hands. We shall not forget. So those are the two things here that I can think about. Institutions taking accountability. So institution accountability. Okay? For once, let's have institutions that say, oh, you know what? We goofed, we failed. And I take responsibility and I tender my resignation. We've not seen it. You saw what happened in the other, was it Baringo? Up to now people are quiet and 5 people lost their lives. Who is taking responsibility? Who the hell is taking responsibility?
The president has apologized.
Apologized, and people are dead. What about the families? And we cannot keep on losing people. In other places where people are civilized, one death, at the very least, if it's caused or the negligence of, say, police service, the head must go. If there are several people who have died, like we've lost Gen Z, the president should have tendered his resignation. He should have resigned. Why is he hanging in office? Does he have a heart? Those families are still in pain up to now. And people think that we can, in fact, there's an MP who said people die, we move on. Forget and move on. Shenzi type. Useless character. That's why I'm telling you the third parliament is full of Bure Kabisa fellows, led by Bure people. Buffoons, total buffoons.
Well, what a conversation. Leave a comment down below as we're heading to Madaraka Day. Would you say that Kenya is completely in moral decay, or are our leaders running away from responsibility? Just as always, it's always great to finish up with some words from Philip Kisia as we're heading over for this Madaraka holiday.
Well, Jed, an eventful week. So how do you close this week, Jed? I wanted to close the week on a high. But unfortunately, everything that has happened has put us on the low. look for that video, the World Bank, the chief, who issued a statement this week about the state of our economy.
I would like to offer a few words of caution. Default will not be an easy solution to Kenya's problems. We have seen, in fact, default is not an effective solution for anybody. In fact, a recent paper presenting evidence from some 221 default episodes over from 1815 to 2020 suggests that sovereign defaults on average reduced GDP per capita by some 8.5% within 3 years, raised poverty by 6% within 5 years, and worsened other outcomes.
Austerity measures alone might not be enough to get out of Kenya's fiscal hurdles. Now, structural and government reforms are also needed, and of course, what we have seen is that if Kenya's fiscal performance is associated with this changing economic structure, there is something to do also about the economic structure overall.
What does he say, my friend? The man just says, listen, figures don't lie. Figures don't lie. And your president has been lying. The treasurer has been lying. Badi, the CS, who is an expert, has been lying that we are doing well. The man says the poverty levels are rising. It's a fact. The man says that the debt levels are threatening. Okay? The man says that the employment rates are increasing. While on the other side, the president is saying, oh, I'm creating jobs, affordable housing. The only jobs they're creating is for people to loot and make money from cement and steel. If indeed jobs are being created, how come the gap is still so huge that there are so many people who have no employment? And those who are purportedly being employed, they are actually being underemployed. You have graduates carrying stones. Mojengo, graduates, my friend. Graduates. And that's the best you can do for them? Is that the hope that you're giving our youth? No wonder the youth have no time for you. No wonder the youth have come to hate you, Jed. I'm not talking about you. Basically, what World Bank has said, that this government has completely mismanaged the economy. And if we don't look out, the economy is at the brink of collapse. This economy may collapse anytime from now. Therefore, Kenyans, be careful. The red flag has been flagged off by World Bank, none other than World Bank. And that is why we keep on saying, please, Kenyans, Ruto must go home.
Thanks for tuning into that conversation, the conversation about WANTAM, moral decay and respect in this country. This has been Philip Kisia Unscripted. Share this video with as many people as possible so that we can have the right conversation here in the country. Goodbye for now.
What gives him the idea that he can do as he wishes? This is not his personal house. This is not for going. I think the president needs to stop being simplistic.
Is there a vacuum post Raila?
Play one clip where Ruto has spoken truthfully.